Namaste, beloveds. This is Mother with Wisdom, and I'm doing the video today that I said that I would do on my Blog Talk Radio show yesterday, and it all begins with a dream, and I wrote my dream down, and I'm going to share it, and in just meditating on it and going with the flow of the way things, the cards that were pulled yesterday, understanding and understanding the direct correlation and how it gives the dream depth, contrast, and brings it to not just what the focal point is, but the microcosm and the macrocosm. That's the easiest way to say it. And so let me just get into reading what I wrote. And it's very short, beloveds. But the getting into it, we'll get into a little bit of depth with it. Dream of infiltrating small insects swarming the baseboard of a room the entire length. Asked spirit about meaning. It is the swarmers of influence. A lot of beings are waking up. The influencer needs help to take over the walls and foundations. Now, that was very, very, very profound for me. It got a gnat in here. It's very profound, being that, first of all, in the dream, the room I was taken to, the focus was on the wall. And on the wall, at the bottom of the wall, there was just a swarm, literally covered from one end of the wall to the other end of the wall at the bottom. And there was a vent there, one of those old-fashioned vents that are in the older houses, with the little white grill on it, what I'm talking about. And from this vent, there were so many insects coming up and going. You couldn't tell if they were coming in or coming out or going in. It was just so much movement. But it was, I want you to understand, these are like tiny, tiny specks, tiny dots. You know how the 3 dots that I put on everything, they were like swarms of these little dots, dots. And they were moving, and they were moving as one. Okay? And I was just watching. Just standing there. No thoughts or feelings in the dream itself, just as an observer to see this. Now I'm going to read again what I wrote, and then I'll go into some of the things that came up yesterday when I was doing my blog talk show. And I'll try to remember to put the link in the description of for the blog talk show in the link of this video. Dream of infiltrating small insects swarming the baseboard of a room. Now, those words themselves, infiltrating, small insects, and then swarming, being infiltrated by a swarm, and then the entire length of the wall, and asking spirit about the meaning. And Spirit says it is the swarmers of influence. A lot of beings are waking up. The influencer needs help to take over the walls and foundations. And I sat with that, and it a lot came up from that. And what came up is that many beings, many beings are awakening. Their spiritual consciousness is awakening, expanding. I want to say more expanding than awakening. It's starting to open, starting to blossom, starting to bud, starting to draw essence from its roots, from its origin. And so it's starting to branch out. It's starting to spread. And that spiritual expansion of consciousness is one understanding, is one understanding, is one essence and aspect of wisdom itself that is moving, okay? And the word infiltrate means that it was coming from one place and it's coming into another place, okay? And that can now be seen. That's how I'm interpreting this dream. And not only that, but in the awareness of the opening, many beings are what used to influence them. It's dropping off, dropping away, moving away. And in the dream, it's showing up as these little small insects. And these insects are no longer having this dwelling place. And so they're having to find another place. And they're all of one mind as well. And that's that swarm mind, that insect hive mind almost. And you have to understand that in itself is always directed by a queen. So it's always the divine feminine presence that's instinctively and intuitively guiding that. And so a lot is here in this dream, beloveds. And many things are still surfacing regarding this very simple dream and what I saw. Again, these insects had no particular shape. I could not say if they were ants or spiders or what they were. They were just teeny tiny black little dots, okay? And these were, Spirit says these are the influences. And so you've got to look at the influences at the base of a building, of a wall. And if it's infiltrating that wall, then it's infesting that wall. And it's going to sooner or later tear that wall down. And so again, beloved, I know it's just a dream, but reflection and being spiritually led with it. I was going to speak all of this yesterday on the radio show, and Spirit said, no, you need to do a video of this separately. And so I said, okay. And now I understand because more has surfaced that wasn't there in that moment. And so that is part and party of what I'm doing this video of. And it's very particular with the words. Spirit was very particular with swarmers. And so that is a way of the insect. And that way needs to be contemplated, needs to be reflected upon, and understanding that a lot of this has to do with humanity. It has a lot to do with the individual and the collective, and the individual, spiritual individual consciousness coming into a deeper awareness of itself as a collective consciousness, and knowing that it is not alone in its in its fixed identity, and that it has the ability to blend, to merge, to swarm, to bring about change. And that is so powerful, especially when you understand that these insects were not flying insects. They are not of the air. They are of the earth mother. So this is as if the dirt itself is coming to life in these little forms and bringing about change. So it's very deep, beloveds. It's very, very ancient wisdom, spiritual wisdom and spiritual knowledge coming through the essence, through the wisdom, through the ways of the swarming insects. Okay? And this is a direct message for those who are coming together, forming collectives, spiritual collectives. And it's also letting you know that many people are looking for big changes, but these are little changes that are happening. And it's these little changes that are going to bring the walls down, they're going to bring the whole house down. It's the little bitty ones. The little bitty ones coming together as a collective force. And that collective force, when they come together, can't be touched. Can't be touched. Simply because of the sheer magnitude of the essence of it. And I want you to understand that these influences are as ancient as the ground, as the dirt itself. And so this is what is rising up. And the world is the walls. This man's world is the walls that it's infiltrating. Okay, that is the dream part of that. Next, I move to share on video the card some of the cards that came up on yesterday's Blog Talk Radio show. This card is called Creation. And I posted, I called the card Gray. But the card is actually neutral. And I am to expand my understanding on that spectrum and frequency. Gray as in gray areas, as in shadow areas, as in the blending of black and white. Okay? And gray as in being neutral, not taking a side, not taking black or white side, but being its own spectrum, and frequency of creation, as the card is creation. And I'm going to begin with, as you can see, the book Chakra Wisdom Oracle Guidebook, The Complete Spiritual Toolkit for Transforming Your Life by Tori Hartman. It's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful deck. This is chapter 7, so the number 7 is very central in this video, in this message, in this transmission. Embrace the spirit of universal consciousness. Overall impression of this neutral color or this particular suit is neutrality. Keywords: enlightenment, consciousness, purpose, wisdom, spirituality, unity, and expansiveness. That is what gray. That is what these insects, they were not black, they were gray. You know, it was just a whew. Manifesting intention. In the 7th chakra, the crown chakra, we reach the place of universal consciousness, which is outside our physical body. You may notice that these cards represent some aspect of our collective being. The idea here is that we all vibrate through our 7th chakra, and in a powerful way, it keeps us connected to our humanity. Sit with that for a moment, beloveds. Repeat that in your consciousness. Let it expand. See where it goes. I'll read it again. In the 7th chakra, the crown chakra, and it's purple, violet, purple. We reach the place of universal consciousness. And purple ranges. And the other day I kept, Prince was, his music, the wisdom, the vibe, the frequencies and spectrum of his music was just there. And it had a lot to do with the crown chakra and the violet flame. In the 7th chakra, the crown chakra, we reach the place of universal consciousness, which is outside our physical body. The rest of the chakras are inside. It is only when we get to the 7th that is above the skull. Okay? And it is once we get to that chakra that we are able to tap into the universal consciousness, not just the individual consciousness of your own body's chakra. Okay? And so, like I said, this is all very connected, and it's all very deep, but it's all very meaningful and able to be grasped, beloveds. You already know this stuff. You just got to contemplate and let it open certain areas within you. Let it strengthen certain areas. Let it fortify. Let it influence. Let it connect with what's there to help bring it open for you. You may notice that these cards represent some aspect of our collective being. The idea here is that we all vibrate through our 7th chakra, and in a powerful way, it keeps us connected to our humanity. So, as incarnated spirits, we are connected to our humanity and to each other through the 7th crown chakra. And that is where the wisdom of understanding what being a collective, a spiritual collective, existing in human form, stems from. That's the root of this kind of wisdom. The cards of the seventh chakra are neutral in color because spirit is in essence is neutral. Here you will receive messages from spirit that are detached from human worry. These cards indicate the higher-minded thinking that happens when we align with spirit. The power of holding space can also be seen in the still energy of each card. Here you will see how conscious choice can bring you spiritual magnetism. These are the cards of mastery. Now I want to pause just for a minute because a conversation came up in my on my Facebook page that I want to bring into this. So let me pause while I get my computer. Okay, beloveds. The post is, let's see, February 15th at 11:49 on my Valerie Ames Middlebrook Facebook page. And it is a quote and picture of Kurt Vonnegut, who's an American author born 1922, who passed on 2007. And the quote says, "You meet saints everywhere. They can be anywhere. They are people behaving decently in an indecent society." Okay? And that came through human reform politics. And one of my Facebook friends said, "Where is this decent society at? LOL." My response was this, and it came from spirit. It didn't just come from me. It is the garden within, tended well. I love the question and would love to delve deeper into the subject from all frequencies and spectrums. If you desire or are curious about what can be born or reborn from such a conversation, we could do it here in the comments area, or I could set a Blog Talk Radio show date to host you as a highly esteemed guest. Your choice, also open to suggestions. He replied, "I'm not sure how you interpret society as an internal aspect. The decay of Western society is what it is. Shunya." And I looked up the word shunya, SHUNYA, because it was not familiar to me. Okay? And I'll get into that in a minute. And he continued, "But I don't see how it could be considered internal in any conventional sense." Now I'm going to read that again because I interrupted it, okay? "I'm not sure how you interpret society as an internal aspect. The decay of Western society is what it is." That's the name of my show, by the way, is what it is. "But I don't see how it would be considered internal in any conventional sense." And think of the dream, beloveds, okay? The internal aspect, and as insects in a society, the human beings as insects within a society, okay? But let me keep going. In looking up the word shunya, I found Sunyata in Wikipedia, and I had come across Sunyata before, so I'm not well versed, but I am familiar with the tenets of the philosophy itself. And you can go look these things up yourselves, because the video is not specifically about these things, so I'm not going to go into depth with them. Sunyata is Sunyata. Okay? Now, this is what I replied. My wisdom is not conventional. It is spiritual. Thus, beyond the limited convents of human thoughts and feelings. It is actually more in the realm of zero. The place holder for the seen and unseen. Okay, wait a minute. For the seen and unseen, the society used in the context of your first reply, everything has a polarity. Outside of zero is represented as negative zero, then neutral zero, then positive zero. This came up in my Blog Talk Radio show today. I called the card gray, neither black nor white, but the proper name for the suit from the Chakra Oracle deck was neutral. It came up in referencing the human skull. The skull came up in a couple of other different decks and cards as well, but the main focus of the neutral card was that everything of the body rises upwards into the crown chakra, which is outside the body. So you're going from the inside of the body, where the other chakra centers are, up to the crown, which is outside, which connects to the universe. So informational society is more than what you see on the outside. It is more than what appears as a physical collective. It is also a spiritual collective that you have to come outside of the body to connect with your true origin, which is the universal consciousness. It is also a cellular collective that is inside the body, is also a spiritual collective that is outside the body, that cannot be seen. So I'm not talking about physical beings or personalities. I'm talking about souls and spirits and essence as part of the society, more than just the physical makeup of society. And this is where we have to start connecting back with. Okay. Zero is neutral. It holds them all and does not discriminate against the negative or the positive. I had to look up the word Shunrya. I don't know if I'm saying that right, the Shunrya, because I was not familiar with it. And what I thought I found was another word that I had encountered before. So I don't know if this is the same thing that you were insinuating or touching on, but I'd love to continue the conversation. And then I wrote, also found it interesting how you define society, from what hemispheres of the world or what direction the philosophy is based on, whether it's in Western, Eastern, Northern, or Southern. So he's looking at society from outside the body, being from different areas of the planet, as far as the dictates of what society is. And the context was decent and indecent. And his premise of his question or statement was that he is not able to witness or observe decency within the society, especially from a Western place of observation. And my reply to him was basically, if all you're seeing is the outside of what society, that reflection, that has to come from the inside. So first you need to be able to look from where that is coming from, how society is the way it is. And that is the black and the white and the gray. That is the zero. That is the sum total of that is the sunyata. That is that principle. That zero holds everything. And so you have to address it from that stance. You have to be there in the zero and go outward, and understanding that it's all one. This is what he replied back to me. Well, by conventional, I mean brass tacks, common sense, de facto, pragmatic, mundane understanding. By referencing the Buddhist sense of the Sanskrit word shunya, I mean the understanding of things in light of impermanence and interdependence, oneness. When I write the West, I mean the territories formerly referred to as Christendom, and specifically to the U.S. or Merca. When I write society, I mean the entities incarnated as hominids within the aforementioned territory. Perhaps your understanding of this subject is grounded in the perceptions of fine sense organs, which I consciously do not perceive through, but I do not understand what you intend to communicate. And that was that. And let me just say this. Creation. You have to understand creation. You have to have concept of the first creation, the Trinity. Okay? That Trinity being three distinct essences with one single mind. Almost like that, the queen in the ant colony or the bee colony. There are a million different workers and drones and so forth and so on that colonize. But they all work as one because they are intuitive with each other. They are always communicating with each other. They are never disconnected. And when one is in trouble, it sends out a signal and the rest come. And their prime directive is always to protect the queen. And so they don't try to rise over the queen. They don't try, oh, well, it should be done this way and that way and blah, 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 blah. No. You want to make it conventional wisdom. But this is the base. This is the brass tacks. This is the common sense. And like I said, through this insect dream and everything else that I shared with you, it is, when you want to look at society, the best natural reference is the insect community. And you need to understand that the insect community was here before the human being was. And if you can grasp the inner workings of the society of within the insect population or community or essence, then you'll understand how humans emulate that. But because humans have distinct personalities that they are consciously attached to, that makes them different or individual in their own awareness of themselves. They lack the instinctual conscious capacity of knowing themselves as a collective. So there is a space held for that. That is that zero, that is that neutral place that is held there. But in order to get into that space, that neutral space, you have to detach from your thoughts and feelings about your personal self. You have to let go of that identity and grasp the universal conscious identity as your societal self, more so than your individual self. And I hope this is making sense to you. And if not, again, look at the nature of the insects, especially the swarming insects, how their societies operate. And understand that it is not just within their own physical, chemical makeup that sends out signals for them to come together and swarm and so forth and so on, for you to observe that. But it's also universal outside of them that they come together and swarm and help each other. There are pictures of ants using their bodies as bridges so that the other ants can cross over. That's a society. That's a connection. That's not about the individual. That is about the collective. That is what the creation of insects and this consciousness that is expanding and influencing us is all about. And it's all tied in, beloveds. And that's why, like I say, I did the show. I was told to wait, not to go into this. And then yesterday I replied to that reply, and then today here everything is. And like I said, it's coming up beautifully. It's coming up beautifully. It's amazing to me how connected and synchronistic everything is, and especially the bottom line is looking at things from an inside perspective, understanding that your inside perspective, which are your thoughts and your feelings, are subjective to your internal organs, okay? Through your hormones, through the ebb and the flow of the planets, the moon. All of that is symbiotic. All of that is one. And then when you come to that crown chakra, you grasp this is universal principle. It's not just the inside, my feelings, my thoughts based upon my existence, my chakra system, my hormones, my blah, 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 blah. It's so much bigger than that. And so society is so focused on, especially Western society. And Western society has influenced all other societies in this particular age, cycle, and season. The Western philosophy is taking over. Okay? And so you have to look at what is swarming or taking over the others. And it is that what is the individual thoughts and feelings that narcissistic is okay to overpower everything else. The society, the values, what has come before, what surrounds you, what makes up your body, what gives you your essence. So there's a lot here to look at and to dissect and to digest and to observe and to do it from that neutral place of zero. I know nothing. Teach me. Show me. I know nothing. I'm holding on to nothing. I'm not bringing what I think I know. Show me. Teach me. I know nothing. When you can sit and be held in that zero space of nothingness and everything, then you are neutral. You're not taking sides. And you're able to be taught. You're able to connect through essence, not mind, not just soul, not just spirit, but through essence of the wisdom of it. Creation. I'm going to read it again. Overall impression, neutrality. Keywords: enlightenment, consciousness, purpose, wisdom, spirituality, unity, expansiveness. Manifesting intention. In the seventh chakra, and I advise you to look up the number 7 in writingthebeast.com. Okay? In the seventh chakra, the crown chakra, we reach the place of universal consciousness, which is outside of our physical body. You may notice that these cards represent some aspect of our collective being. The idea here is that we all vibrate through our seventh chakra, and in a powerful way, it keeps us connected to our humanity. 7 is the number of great mysteries. So 7 is the universal consciousness. Put that together and understand. The cards of the 7th chakra are neutral in color because spirit is essence in neutral. Understand that. Spirit is essence in neutral. That requires you to know what the word essence is all about in relation to spirituality. Okay? So I'm not going to go into that deeply, but do your due diligence and find out what essence in regards to what a spiritual essence is. And understand that this essence doesn't take sides. It's neutral. It holds the space of zero. Okay? That means it can hold both positive and negative at the same time. That is why the human mind the human way, is on no level with the divine way, because the human way is about judgment and sides, whereas the divine way holds it all and judges it all from that, not in taking a side of right or wrong, good or bad, blah, 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 but from the essence of consciousness itself. These cards indicate, wait a minute. The cards of the seventh chakra are neutral in color because spirit is, in essence, is neutral. Here you will receive messages from spirit that are detached from human worry. These cards indicate the higher-minded thinking that happens when we align with spirit. The power of holding space can also be seen in the still energy of each card. Here you will see how conscious choice can bring you spiritual magnetism. These are the cards of mastery. Now, beloveds, if you've been following me, Spirit had me do several shows, radio shows, blog talk shows, and videos on holding space and what that means spiritually to hold space. What, as a womb, the essence of the womb is to hold space. It is very powerful. It is very natural. And it is very contemporary. Let's get into this card creation. The other cards in this neutral are impartiality, rejection, release, instinct, destiny, confusion, and creation. And creation is the last card in the suit, beloveds. It's the last card in the deck, period. So take note of all of this, the sequencing, the relevancy of it. Okay? Everything at the end being neutral. That's deep. The legend in a time before history. Creation is she shaman. She shaman. I will guide you to your muse. The legend in time before history. She shaman walks the earth, bestowing artistic talents on a select few. One day she rests under a birch tree. Look up birch tree, beloveds. One day she rests under a birch tree. Hey, says Birch, I want my muse too. Birch entertained she shaman for a long time, singing and telling tales. She shaman smiles. My great friend, you have had your art all along. She vows that from then on she will give everyone their own gift. To this day, she shaman has never left us. We see her inside every creative work, even society, beloveds. Even society. Pay attention to the signs and the symbols and what is speaking to you. And let go of what you think you know and open yourself to be spoken to be taught, to be led into wisdom, into the essence of something, rather than just the hard, concrete, positive, negative way of human thought. Go to the essence, beyond right and wrong, beyond annoying insects. Insects serve purpose, multiple purposes. So pay attention, beloveds. Inspiration. Your path is an artistic one. Express your love in a tangible art form. It is time to make decisions. Personal inquiry. My whole journey has been about personal inquiry. Who am I? What is my purpose? What is my value? And I've been taken back to ground zero. If you go back in my farther videos, and I'll try to link it, put the link in the description. I was shown ground zero while I was visiting my family in California, and we had been arguing. And I was like, Spirit, what? And I was knocked totally backwards off the bench I was sitting in by a force that I won't even get into. Okay? And it made me think. I had to think, what the hell? And my daughter panicked. And of course, her response was to call the ambulance and the this and the that and the that and the that, and wanting to take me to the hospital. And I ain't going to no hospital. I ain't going to this. Something knocked me off of this bench. I'm not going to the doctor. It ain't got nothing to do with going to the doctor. Okay, it's nothing this is not physical stuff. This is spiritual stuff. This is the essence of something, and I need to figure it out, and that's not going to happen at a hospital. The doctor is not going to be able to address that or help me with that. And so, no, I'm not going to the doctor. I'm not getting in the ambulance, and I'm not going. Mama, you gotta let people, you don't know everything. I know this. I'm not going. And so I was introduced to ground zero in such a way, in such a manner. Okay? It's not something I forget. Personal inquiry. Am I waiting for someone's permission to create my life? Bam. What do I need to see in order to claim my own gifts? Ground zero. Understanding ground zero. The essence of it. And you can't do that from within your own hormonal memories and attachments and addictions and memories and thoughts. You have to balance your chakras, and you have to come out to your crown chakra, which is attached to the universal consciousness, which balances everything out. And once you are able to tap into that universal consciousness, you understand, you understand, you know the essence of collective, spiritual collective. It's all the stars, it's all the planets, it's all life forms, it's every life particle that has ever existed. It is wisdom itself. It is spirit itself. It is everything and nothing, all at the same time. But you have to rise through your senses to get to that collective which you incarnated, which you were before you incarnated. It is a rising and a falling, just like breathing, inhaling and exhaling. You have to be consciously aware of it. How conscious are you of your breath? How conscious are you of your awareness as your spiritual essence, as consciousness itself? Contemporary, ideas, opening to magic, lasting transformation, divine feminine, awakening creativity, finding your muse, owning your gifts. And again, it is the queen that leads. It is the queen that is the muse to the bees, to the ants. She is the one that directs and guides. She is the wisdom of the swarm. She is the wisdom of their essence and their existence. And they don't fight against that and say, no, it's the male, not the female. Only human beings do that. Only human beings question the divine design and want to grant it inequality. Well, the male is better than the female. The female is less than. How is it less than when it's all created in the image of, all in the essence of? There is no less than in the divine. Human way of thinking and feeling and knowing is so far removed from the divine, natural, nature, contemporary. Get out of your own way. You got to shut that down. You got to be an infant. You got to come to mama looking for the milk, and you will be fed. That's the root. And she will allow you to attach. She will adjust you. And she will feed you. Why? Because she does not see you as being different from her own self. You are an aspect of her. She loves herself unconditionally, so she loves you unconditionally. And just as she created creation through the wisdom, there's a way for you to get back to that way of knowing and being. And it is in the nature of everything. Nobody needs to spell it out to you. All you need to do is observe and bear witness to the truth of what you're seeing, what you're hearing. Meditation. Open a notebook to a clean page. Close your eyes and imagine She Shaman standing in the mist, holding out her hand. Follow her into the mist. As you walk, she motions to sit. Ask her for guidance. Pick up your notebook and write. Simply write whatever comes. Do not censor or judge the words. They may mean nothing right now, but they will. Thank She Shaman for her visit. Very simple dream. Very simple words. Not a lot, but very powerful in the message. Now, the other cards that came forward, beloveds, are from the Isis Oracle. And this has a lot to do with the dream as well. I saw that in this. It has a lot to do with the dream as well. And so the first card that came forth was Past Life, Present Power, the many spiritual faces of you. And I want you to look at the dust and understand that that dust is the insects in the dreams understand the relevance to time, the reference to time, and the way changes happen by bringing walls that were built, foundations that were set, they have to be brought down. And so this is, let's just get into it, beloveds. Okay, I'll show you this card again. You have the 2 cobras, which is the Wajet. You have serpent wisdom times 2 here. Okay? You have the blue. And you have the above. And you have the below. So there's movement. Let's get into it. The many spiritual faces of you. Oops. Okay, I need to leave stuff alone. Okay, sorry about that. Past life, present power. The many spiritual faces of you. When the soul is growing in service to humanity, in service to the great feminine and her call, that all beings be healed and free. It gathers internal resources to assist on the path. These resources include powers and gifts from other lifetimes. You are currently integrating past life abilities, and you are guided by the oracle of past life present power to be open to shifting internally and in your experience of your own levels of power and spiritual ability. Again, this is the swarming. Okay, this is the swarming of the ancient influences that are in your essence, in your awareness, in your consciousness, in your genetic memory, so to speak. And that you are still magnetizing to yourself through your magnetic field, okay? Through your essence, through your vibration, through your spectrums, through your frequencies. Talents, abilities, and powers wish to be restored to you now from past incarnations. This will help your path. You will often be able to recognize this because you will feel some instant fascination or deep interest for a culture, philosophy, heritage, or even place on the earth or beyond, which is deeply compelling. This is your intuitive recognition that a part of your soul connected with this passionate interest is being drawn into integration. At such times, there can be emotions, feelings, and even phobias or fears that temporarily arise. You may even find your taste for food and clothing and your sleep or other habits change quickly and noticeably for a time. These can all be signs that a past life energy is being integrated. Once it is digested into your current incarnation, you will feel more like yourself again, but in an expanded and more whole way. You will just feel like you are more of yourself, more stable, more full, and more at home in your own being. It is a lovely state of being. Enjoy. Excuse me. Water. Which makes any ups and downs in the integration process more bearable. The oracle brings specific guidance that some of these past gifts from other incarnations are associated with ancient Egypt and civilizations connected with ancient Egypt, earthly and beyond. Pay attention to that, beloveds, because a lot of times we get so caught up in the earthly aspect of something, the physical location, the hemisphere, so to speak, of something. And that means we detach that everything came down to the earth to establish the earth as the earth. And it is in everything that also came down that is part of our collective as well. Okay? And we need to be conscious of that. Let me read that again. This oracle brings specific guidance that some of these past gifts from other incarnations are associated with ancient Egypt and civilizations connected with ancient Egypt, earthly and beyond. So this is speaking of existence itself before settling upon the planet Earth. Okay? Understanding that there are galaxies, that our cosmic system is vast, and it is beyond the human comprehension of time and space. Okay? But everything that is here on this earth originated from that cosmic beingness, essence, first and foremost. Then it came through the galaxies, then it came through the universes, then it came planetarily, and it gathered itself here in the dirt, in the air, in the water. Okay? And that is what we are a composite of. Including some star civilizations such as Ceres and the Pleiades. Look for the symbols, books, crystals, or colors that interest you and pay attention to your dreams. It is helpful to be conscious of any issue around the past life skills returning to you now. You will become aware of them so that you can be acknowledged, accepted, and released. Acknowledged, accepted, and released. Released from what? Released from your old shackles, from your very limited human, conditioned, programmed thinking of what reality is and of manifesting in a very limited way. Only violence instead of unconditional love. We have mastered in self-hate, violence, genocide, war. Now it's time to master unconditional love. And as that consciousness spreads, we will take down those walls, those old walls that were built. They will be demolished. They will come down like the walls of Jericho. Look for the symbols, books, crystals, or colors that interest you and pay attention to your dreams. If it is helpful to be conscious of any issues around the past life skills returning to you now, you will become aware of them so that they can be acknowledged, accepted, and released. They can be released within your genetic memory, within your DNA cells, within your organs, within your blood system itself, so that you will begin to know who, how, where, the very essence of your consciousness as a spiritual being. Often when integration is occurring, people who have been connected to you in such lifetimes become a more prominent part of your life. It is possible that they will remain thus, or that As the integration happens and you continue to grow, some of those relationships will fall away. As you have contemplated the karmic healing and integration of the energies associated with that past life, distilled the golden gift, and are ready to move on. This may take weeks, months, or in some cases, years. The ritual below will, however, facilitate the process with some more efficiency, but you must trust in your timing for such matters as your own soul is guiding the process and knows exactly what it is doing. To enable this soul awakening to occur, purification and time to assimilate the healing is recommended. You can accomplish this through rest, time in nature, prayer, that your power be exercised with love and mercy, and a willingness to be guided by the Divine Mother, Lady Isis, who loves you unconditionally. Use the prayer of past life present power below and the healing ritual whenever you intuitively feel you need it. Also know that as wonderful as it sounds to retrieve past life power and ability, it is not always without challenge. We often need to be willing to be fluid in our understanding and experience of ourselves. That is why you need to really, like me, be brought backwards into zero, ground zero, and understand it swallows the polarities. The polarities don't exist within zero. There is nothing over here or over there. It's all zero. It's all being held. It's not being held on the side, up or down, left or right. It's all being held, contained in the womb. It's all existence. It's all one consciousness. Just as we are taught that before creation, everything existed in the abyss, and then the separation of light and dark took place. And because of that separation, light separated itself from darkness. So there was an adding and a subtracting that happened in zero, and the existence expanded, but zero still holds it all. That's the consciousness you never get away from. Okay. Okay, this is very deep now. Also know that as wonderful as it sounds to retrieve past life power and ability, it is not always without challenge. That is what the earth plane is. It is a challenge. It is a challenge to be a spiritually incarnated being inside of flesh and to reconnect with your universal consciousness, thus denying that individual, egoic self as the true reality. It's very deep. That's the challenge. We often need to be willing to be fluid in our understanding and experience ourselves. We need to be open to reframing our idea of ourselves as more spiritually connected, more powerful, and more responsible for our light on this earth. That can be confronting at times. We often have to let go of any fear or disappointment we suffer in the relevant past, to let go of any fear or disappointment we suffered in the relevant past life before the gift can be restored to us in a useful way this lifetime. So you must look upon your difficulties, your suffering, as sacrifice and surrender. And you must be grateful, have gratitude that you have come through this challenge. And it is only on the other side, it's only on the other side of getting to the other side of this challenge that you receive your what you brought forward can come through. Because again, this is a purification. Okay? You're purifying your conscious awareness to receive higher frequencies and spectrums. Those higher frequencies and spectrums are your past life experiences. And it is what makes you whole and holy. And it is why you feel so divided or so empty, or that you have holes sometimes. Okay? So this is all coming up in a very particular way. Let me keep moving, beloveds. We often have to let go of any fear or disappointment we suffered in the relevant past life before the gift can be restored to us in a useful way this lifetime. And I want to say we have many lifetimes past in this life that we're living. In your childhood, that was a lifetime that is past. It is still relevant. Your adulthood, I'll be 60 next year. So my 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, there were so many versions and lives there. And a lot of those have memories and hold on to certain things. And you have to say, that's no longer my story. That's dead. I'm no longer that person. I'm no longer attached to that pain, to that wound. That blood that was flowing then no longer flows through me. That infection, that disease, I no longer carry that. I remember it, but I no longer carry it, and it no longer affects my physical, spiritual being. And you move on, you don't dwell there. Why? Because you're fluid now. And there is so much more than what was. And what was you will never lose, because it is always speaking to you in what is and what will be. You may or may not see the whole picture, and if you do not, then it isn't necessary for healing. We are always given more than enough to be able to heal. It is just a matter of being attentive and aware of what is happening right before us in our lives, and realizing that if we follow any pain, we will find what needs healing. Then the gift hidden within the pain can be released. The gift hidden within the pain can be released, but first you have to face that pain. First you have to get to the root of it. You have to face that root. You have to look at it. You have to see it. You have to accept it for what it is. It is pain. It hurts. And from there, you can begin to release that pain. I see you, but I no longer give you power to hurt me or to hurt. You are still here with me, but you are benign. You don't affect nothing. You have no control over nothing. That pain that I suffered and went through, you don't get to spill into this moment. Thou shalt not pass. I will not allow you into this present moment. But I have to face you that you exist and that you are the truth. But I do not have to bring you forward into this moment. I do not have to keep giving birth to you. I choose no. No more. Mean it. And mean it as many times as you need to. Okay? And don't let it shame you or twist you up. Because it's you. And it knows how to talk to you and speak to you and move you. But you are higher than it. You have to mother your matters. And so you have to say, yes, I know you in pain, so sit your little butt right here. We going to put you right here. We going to comfort you. We going to put the blanket over you. That's your space. That's your spot. Stay right there. But you don't get to run and terrorize everything else. No, you do not. Sit your little butt down. Simple as that. As with all spiritual instruction, the oracle of past life present power indicates that the gift found in our healing will be past life talents and abilities. Mamas, be mama. Be authentically your mama. Your wise mama self. The ground zero mama self. That highest conscious wisdom self. And with all spiritual instruction contained in this oracle as a whole, the Lady Isis will watch over you and assist with the process once you ask her in unconditional love. So, in order to ask her something means you have to be aware of the Isis story. Be aware of it from many different angles, not just told from one prospect or reflection or philosophy. Do your due diligence and learn it inside out. And then that information will be there. And when you have questions, what has been that essence that was there before will be here in the present with you, communicating with you. That's the understanding of the wisdom, the essence of wisdom. That which is without form, that which is immortal, that which you can call upon. Now, is Isis the highest? No. The highest learning is of the Great Spirit. But the story of Isis has great wisdom in it, and that you can call upon that wisdom. Ritual of past life power, past life present power. Close your eyes and visualize or sense a wheel-like structure with many spokes, like the wheel of a bicycle but made out of light. Imagine that you are at the center of the wheel where all the spokes meet. There is a vast circle of light that forms the outer section of the wheel, and this represents the boundaries of your soul. The light around the outside grows bright and luminous gold until it begins to overflow, flowing as pure light along all the spokes of the wheel, sending light into the center. From your peaceful position at the center of the wheel, you notice that certain spokes are beginning to glow more strongly than others. Allow yourself to open your heart and receive the light from these spokes of the wheel, representing different lifetimes, flowing as golden light into the center of the wheel. And I want to bring another aspect into this because Spirit has um, helped me with understanding frequencies and spectrums from the essence of sound, the echoing of sound, and not just physical form that you can see, but what you can hear. Okay? And it's very celestial. It's it's very symbiotic as well. It harmonizes with your own heartbeat and your hormonal flows and what the moon is doing and all of that. So again, it's understanding the nature and the essence of conscious awareness itself and how it expands and how it contracts and how it expands. So how it grows, okay? How it flows as a stream, a living stream of living light essence that has the force to knock you backwards, okay? When you ask for something. Oh, you want to know? Rest with this and say aloud, I now call back to me through unconditional love and grace all past life skill and ability that can assist me in my high destiny. I pray for mercy and compassion as I grow in wisdom and ability. Help me now, beloved Isis, who loves me unconditionally, to experience this process easily and exercise its effects with love and mercy. Of my own free will, so be it. The light from the spokes glows strong and flows to you in the center into the heart as pure golden light. You will receive the perfect moment of light that will feed your soul. You may feel a lot of sensation or not much at all, and either is fine. Just allow your process to be as it is, and now know it is happening. Finally, see, sense, or feel the entire wheel filled with light, turning and turning and flowing in its own natural way, with you at the center, feeling the vastness of you. When you are ready, just open your eyes. I call back to me, through unconditional love and grace, the past life energy that fills this situation in place. Let my past and present life ability help me reach my highest destiny. I call for clarity, insight, and peace, a place of empowerment I now reach. That is this card. And in that card, I want you to be able to relate to this card and see how they are intertwined. Past life, present power. She shaman. Okay, the next card, beloveds, is Divine Sisterhood, Community of Spiritual Sisters and Brothers of the Light. And this was the swarm for me. This was, oh, okay. How beautiful is that card? And beloveds, this is Hathor, okay? And Hathor is a cow goddess. She's a mother cow goddess. And you have to understand the aspects of what that cow is, okay? And so there's a lot here. A lot of symbols here. Not there. But understand the male and the female is connected through this. Okay? And she is guided by this. So it's very deep. Let's get into that divine sisterhood. Community of spiritual sisters and brothers of the light. In community that is based in equality, respect, healthy boundaries, and personal freedom, with a mutual desire for spiritual growth and honoring of innate wisdom, great miracles occur. You are a part of this community of light. At one time, it existed only in the spiritual worlds, yet now it is being born on the earth. It is being reborn, and it is being rebirthed through us, through our highest spiritual conscious awareness, because we are recognizing the challenges that we have been through, okay? And we are arriving at a conclusion, and that conclusion is the collective is more desired than the individual. But the individual is a must, is a necessity to the collective. And so it's about working on the individual self as a conscious awareness, spiritual state of conscious awareness, expanding itself into the realms of a collective consciousness. Thank you, Mama. Okay. This is all blowing me away, beloveds. I didn't know all of this was going to come up the way it is, but it's all blowing me away. Okay, let me keep going. In community that is based in equality, respect, healthy boundaries, and personal freedom, with a mutual desire for spiritual growth and honoring of innate wisdom. Meaning we have to honor innate wisdom above all the philosophies, the religions, the contemporary things that we think we know. We have to put that innate, we have to honor it. And before we can honor it, we have to be able to relate to it as the wholeness, not as parts and fragments and this and this and that. That is the heart, that is the center that we have to connect with. That is the root that will feed us best. That is the breast, so to speak, the cosmic conscious breast. The best milk. Gives us that innate wisdom. Great miracles occur. You are part of this community of light. At one time it existed only in the spiritual worlds, yet now it is being born on the earth, as prophesied, okay? From all across the globe, all across the world, all across the many worlds that have been passed, not just the civilizations that we know, but those before our knowledge. It's all coming to a head. It is part of your destiny to help create and nurture a conscious community that empowers all of its members and is based on truth. And is based in truth, not on truth, in truth. There's a difference. Letting the divine feminine nourish you now into new relationships, collaborations, community, and friendships is very wise. There are many souls with whom you have spiritual contracts, decided upon before you were born, who wish to help you, and whom you can help too, as you grow together in peace and light and wisdom. Your light has value on its own, of course, but it is also of deep service when it is visible to others, lighting the way. Lighthouses, beloveds, be a lighthouse in the storm of this world. Be a lighthouse. You are guided to allow the beloved Isis to help you now through community. There can be strength in numbers. That's the dream, the swarming, the insects, bringing down the walls, okay? From the base, from the root, not from the top. They weren't up top. No, they were at the foundation. They were at the baseboards, okay? There can be strength in numbers. Community can help you gain the added power of group effort to rise above the old patterns and lift each other into the new patterns that are so much more real and beautiful. This is coming out of the matrix. This is coming out of it and knowing that you are the one. You are Neo. You've always been connected to the universal consciousness itself. And the Smiths are just illusions that want to hold you back. They are just memories of difficulties. They are fears that you have known in past lifetimes that are here for you to overcome again. Why? So that you can bring new patterns that are so much more real and beautiful into being. You are a creator. You are a manifester. You are here to do these things. That is what Jesus meant when he said, you will do greater things than I. In unity with the divine in each other, we grow and we become capable of such wonders. Mother Isis says that there is so much light awakening within our planet and so much spiritual light gifted to Earth from celestial beings at this time that it makes sense to build a large enough container to receive it. Beloveds, I hope you're receiving this influx that will allow this streaming, that will allow your spiritual consciousness to expand. Each of us is aware of what streaming is due to technology. That's what can be seen. What is unseen is what you can tap into and what you can actually stream into your spiritual conscious awareness. Okay? That's way better than any show. All right? Than any channel. Listen to those words. And understand what the replication is. And what the natural is. The essence is. Everything else is just an imitation of that essence. Contemporary. You are guided to allow the beloved Isis to help you now. In unity with the divine in each other, we grow and we become capable of such wonders. Mother Isis says that there is so much light awakening within our planet and so much spiritual light gifted to Earth from celestial beings at this time that it makes sense to build large enough container to receive it. Groups that are willing to learn to connect at heart level, honoring each other as divine beings, can become capable of calling in and receiving tremendous forces of light in service to humanity and the earth. If you have had electricity to if you had enough electricity to power a city, you wouldn't try to fit it in one house. Why? Because you blow up that house. It'd burn up. Be too much juice. Too much sauce. Huh? Likewise, with all this spiritual electricity becoming available on earth, groups are needed to help it to circulate and flow. You are wise and grounded enough within yourself not to lose yourself in a group. Again, this is structure and the restructuring of a new society. That was a lightning bolt, okay? A new society. A new society. What is society to you? And we have the answer of the swarming insects. Deep, deep, mama, deep, deep, deep. Okay, I see why you wanted me to do its own video. Okay. Likewise, with all this spiritual electricity becoming available on the earth, groups are needed to help it to circulate and flow. You are wise and grounded enough within yourself not to lose yourself in a group, and instead to help a group become a community of honoring individuals. Your leadership by example is important as groups can sometimes descend to the lowest energetic vibrations. And that is whoever is in leader, you begin putting them on a pedestal and worshiping them instead of being a symbiotic group. You become a cult. Your leadership by example is important as groups can sometimes descend to the lowest energetic vibration. MAGA. If the members fall into their egos rather than staying in their hearts. Yet, if the powers can stay in their hearts, the group can lift each other up rather than pull each other down. That is the direction. That is the formation. That is the reclamation. Okay? We have to be ready to build each other up rather than tear each other down. And you have to be able to look, observe which being is capable of that. And not just by the things that they say, but by what they do, what they have done, what they have proven. Discern from that. Not from who, oh, they do this, this, and the other. Oh, I would give them my money. I give them all my money. You're supporting something because it's going to benefit you. Because it agrees with your lifestyle views. May not agree with all your philosophies, but it agrees with your lifestyle. It will keep your lifestyle in place. And so you're more concerned with that, your narcissistic self, yourself looking out for number one, than you are for the collective. How does it benefit the earth? How is it impacting the children 7 generations from now? This is true building. You take it into consideration. This is the wisdom. This is why there are cycles and seasons. This is the wisdom of generations that we can track from Adam to now. And it's not about a specific place or part of the earth. It's about the consciousness, the spiritual consciousness. And that spiritual consciousness is expanding because individuals are releasing old pains. They're releasing shackles. They're releasing the chains that bind them in the slavery of you are this, you are this, you are this, and you will never be that I am. Baby, watch me. Watch me, because I'm not by myself. All you see is me, and you think that's it. I got a universal consciousness with me that's beyond number, beyond measure, beyond your understanding and understanding. Because you don't know that you and I are one. And so you want to attack. And you want me to be defensive and fight with you. But I see you as what? Myself. And I have compassion for you. Because I know what pain is like to carry around. And I know how deceptive pain can be. This will make you feel better, get your leg back. They did this and this and that to you. How you gonna stand for that? They did this and that to your child. They did this and this and that to your race. They said this and that about your mama. They did this and that to your country. They said your team ain't nothing. That's the society that we have built up. That's the one that's got to come down. You are wise and grounded enough within yourself not to lose yourself in a group. And instead, to help a group become a community of honoring individuals. Stand on what you know. Your leadership by example is important, as groups can sometimes descend to the lowest energetic vibration if the members fall into their ego rather than staying in their hearts. Yet, if the members can stay in their hearts, the group can lift each other up rather than pull each other down. Only a hit dog hollers. Only a hit dog hollers. And like my mama said, just because your friend's going to run off the cliff, that means you're going to run off the cliff with them? No. No. No, I'm going to say there's an edge to that cliff. You're on the edge. You need to come back away from the edge. But I'm not going to argue. Well, girl, come on. You need to see what's on the other end of the edge. Now, come on. This ain't the end. We can fall down there, and guess what'll happen? Ooh, the angels will rise us up because we is children of God. And I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid. I love you. And if that's your journey for this lifetime, that's your journey for this lifetime. I pray that your consciousness expands. I pray that you are able to receive higher frequencies and spectrums of light, if that is the will of God. And I leave it alone. But I'm no longer offended. by your thoughts and feelings about me or mine, or your influence in the politics, or your influence in the religion, or your influence in racial matters, or your influence in this war and that war, because you start this one, you start that one, and you fund all of them. But I know there's an end coming to that, just as it had a beginning. And so I'm good. I'm good. The Oracle of the Divine Sisterhood is based on the love between the goddess of ancient Egypt, the goddesses of ancient Egypt, Hathor, Isis, Beset, and Sekhmet, and more. They are often pictured with similar symbols and headdresses, and share some iconography that helps us realize that although they are divine individual beings, they are connected as unique expressions of something greater. The swarm, that horde of insects. Not just one little insect, but all of them. Like I said, it was a sight to behold, and I could do nothing but receive. I'm still receiving from it and sharing what I receive. If you accept all of this but still cannot find your spiritual home here and have been wondering where your community is, you are not alone. They are looking for you too. Say yes to opportunities to meet like-minded people and let Isis guide you through circumstances, opportunities, and spontaneous moments as you and your beloved sisters and brothers find each other for group benefit. The conversation that happened in the Facebook comments is expanded my own knowledge. Now, whether it touched this being or not, this being and I are in a group together. The group is the Law of One. Children of the Law of One, by John Peniel. And I read the book a long time ago, suggested to me by a friend, and there's so much depth there. And then in coming, bringing it forth to these cards, these 3 cards, beloveds. Like I said, it seems individual, okay? But it is one. It is one. And each individual got its own thing, symbolizes. But when it comes together, it comes together. And you have to realize this. This is common sense, okay? This is base level. This is contemporary as it gets. And I'm not saying that to be funny or snide or cheeky or brassy, sassy. I'm saying it because that is how it's coming up and how I'm receiving it. Okay, now how you receive it, that's totally on you. I'm not going anywhere to hurt anyone with what I'm saying. I'm just flowing in the stream. That's it. This is also guidance that you are moving into empowerment of your own divine feminine and are capable of helping others enter into theirs. That is something I started my journey out on. As soon as I began to learn, I began throwing seeds. my whole thing was mother with wisdom, the womb of wisdom, rebirthing, before anybody else was talking about that. Spirit seeded it in me, and I seeded it. And it grew. And it didn't grow the way I expected. I wanted it to be a business. I wanted it to be this, that, and the other. And I saw myself doing this, that, and the other because of it. And Spirit said, I'm going to lead this. Okay? I got this. You just buckle up, Buttercup. Okay? And so that's what I learned to do. The lesson was hard because you have to let go of your ego. You have to realize just how many personalities you have. And that each of those personality is rooted deeply within your own egoic self. Okay? And that egoic self is the devil, baby. The devil is in the details. And that is the opposer. That is the liar. Okay? And that is you. That is your lowest self. And that is who you are fighting. And it's going to take so many forms. And it's going to bring essences and attract so much drama and stuff to you. And you're going to have to navigate your way through it all in order to say, it's only by the word of the Lord that I am fed, that I am here, that I am anything in existence. So no, I will not bow down. No. Not in this lifetime or any other. No. Stand on it. Stand on it. That's your purpose. That's your light. That's your gift. Know yourself. When will you know yourself? From Sophia of Sheba. That was my first name getting on the computer on social media. Sophia of Sheba. Spirit gave it to me. Spirit said, where do you want to go with this? What do you want with this? What is your connection with this? Me, the Queen of Sheba. I want to find wisdom. I want to know wisdom. I want to attract wisdom. I want to communicate with wisdom. I want to be wisdom. Sophia of Sheba. Black Planet. Intellect Room. And all kind of spirituality was discussed, and all kind of relationships, and I wrote all kind of poetry and short stories and this and that and the other, only to see them come out in songs and movies and this and that and the other. And I look around and I see all these carbon copies, and I do mean carbon copies, because they are not spiritual copies. They are carbon copies. And now it's getting to the crown chakra and understanding that 9 ether ain't nothing to play with, baby. That meow meow, that ain't nothing to play with. That's the personality again. Like I said, Be able to observe yourself. Be able to observe the flow, the fluidity that is you. Know all aspects of yourself and be able to pull back. So that's enough of that. I see you. Understand, beloveds, it's a process. It's a challenge. It's a test. Is you or ain't my baby. I am that I am. Okay, let me ground again. This is also guidance that you are moving into empowerment of your own divine feminine and are capable of helping others enter into theirs. The role of the divine sisterhood is about empowering all, not one above the other, and growing in wisdom through listening and sharing, through allowing for the uniqueness of all beings. We are all the essence. We are all the unique essence. Nobody has nothing over another one. We are all the unique essence of wisdom itself, existing as existence through the senses, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. The essence of it is known to us, can be known to us. Through allowing for a uniqueness of all beings and encouraging all to grow from a win-win perspective. If you are in a community but are finding that the group ego is becoming more powerful than the group soul, and the energy of the community is pulling you down rather than lifting you up, then this oracle says to trust in the divine feminine to lead you onwards. Give your best and most truthful expression and effort. But if this community is not a vibration that can work for you, then move on without judgment or fear. Just move on and trust that the law of magnetism, you will attract yourself into a community that has the best vibration for you. If you have found that you have guidance to build community yourself and are feeling a little overwhelmed at the thought, stay calm and stay in your heart. Allow yourself to collaborate with others and work in smaller groups in connection with each other as a way to build community together. It will happen naturally. The divine sisterhood will guide you if you ask for their assistance with unconditional love. And beloveds, I want you to understand that this is how all societies came together through many civilizations. Okay? It was through the connection. It was through the table. It was through the talking. It was through the women. Okay? Through the gathering, through the hunting, through the moon lodges, through the raising of children, through the dealing with the husbands. It was all of this. It was the connection to nature, to the moon, to the sun. All of this builds community. All of this is the divine feminine principle. That's why we don't have a cohesive community of conscious awareness now, because it is dominated by the male intellect, okay, and not the divine feminine essence. Big difference. Creation, creative, flow difference. Not better than, less than, just different. And that can be seen in past matriarchal societies. Okay? Nothing is new under the sun. Observe. Know It's all there for you to know. But as you see in this generation, how it can be covered up, how it can be removed, how it can be whitewashed, how it can be taught another way from a different perspective than the truth. How it can be made to look one way when it was something totally different. This is what we are awakening to. This is the baseboard. This is the foundation that must be attacked, be swarmed by conscious awareness, spiritual conscious awareness that's expanding frequencies high enough to tear this down and rebuild better. Okay. Ritual of Divine Sisterhood. You can do this activity physically in a group setting with others who wish to do this healing practice too. Or you can visualize it in your mind with your eyes gently closed while sitting upright with your hands resting open on your legs and knees. It doesn't matter if in your visualization you do not recognize the faces or identities of those in the group with you. Just intend to connect with your sacred community in unconditional love. I even look at the dream as me connecting with that swarm as my group, my spiritual group. And this is what is happening on a microcosmic level. This is what it looks like. And it's being shown to me that way for me to know it and see it from that experience. And from that experience to understanding how so many of us feel about insects. Just like this little gnat. I got bananas, okay? And from these bananas, these little gnats. And so it's like, okay. All is here to teach you. Allow it to do so. You are in a circle holding hands with other men and women. Say aloud. This circle is based in unconditional love, free from harm and fear. Those who love us unconditionally are now invited to be here. See, sense, or feel your hands, sending love around the circle, pulsing with energy. Feel the love growing and say, may this community lift us into love more freely and wholly than ever before. Through my own free will, so be it. Stay with this flow of energy and feel your heart expanding. When you are ready, gently release the hands and place them in the prayer mudra, palms facing together, and resting gently at heart level. Close your eyes and bow your head slightly, bringing the hands in prayer position, with your forefingers lightly touching your forehead, and say, I honor the sisterhood and brotherhood of light, of which I am one. When you are ready, lower your hands and just open your eyes, and you may like to finish with the prayer below. Beloved Isis, please help me find my beloved brothers and sisters of unconditional love on the inner planes and in this world of forms. Guide me to healthy community that helps me grow with unconditional love, where I can find my rightful place and be my true inner self. Thank you. May I have the courage, wisdom, and openness of heart to trust your guidance and act on it. Of my own will, so be it. And put your faith in that, beloveds. Put your faith in that prayer being answered. Okay? Because you've asked, understand that it will be answered. Because you've knocked, understand that it will be open. It may not have no expectations. Understand that everything is in that zero gray area. And what comes out of it will be what you need to navigate and manifest and move around in order to manifest and get the lesson out of it, to bring about the purification that you need for the moment. And understand and believe in yourself, in your past life, present power. And understand that in your past life, present power, there are many guides here that have been here before you, that have walked this earth before you, that have left their stories, that have left their imprints, that have left their essence here to communicate with you through the revelations of your being and your beingness. And you are not separate from them. You are all connected. You're all one within that womb, that realm of existence as existence. And you should be able to communicate with each other. And nothing should scare you. And if its role is to come at you, to challenge you, then make sure your role is firmly grounded and rooted in who you are. At your essence, within your heart, within your spirit, your spiritual heart. And whatever comes at you, stand. And you take that charge. And understand what is with you and what is standing with you. You are never standing alone. Even if you don't have the faith in yourself, even if you're just learning, it doesn't stop what's behind you or with you. Okay? It doesn't lessen it. So even if you can't trust in yourself, trust in existence that was here before you. And that is going to do it, beloveds. 2:13:29. So it is. Okay, this was very good for me in my revelatory, expanding understandings of this time, and not getting out away from expectations, and understanding that this is all it's all new world stuff, new day stuff. And so I go into it with no expectations. I just let it unfold. And I have to regulate myself in that, because sometimes I want to charge forth with what I think I know. And I have to that's your ego, Valerie. Rein her in. Put her in the child seat. Turn her around facing backwards. No. You're not driving. It's deep, beloveds. It's as deep as you allow yourself to commune with yourself. Learn that relationship with yourself. Learn to laugh at yourself. Learn to laugh with yourself. Learn the different aspects of you that feel intimidated or touched or flustered or triggered or are the just the extroverted extroverts. Okay, I know the introverted parts of you as well, and understand that this is just the flow of your essence. But what you truly are is none of it's none of it. Like I said, the mind of God is so superior to our human way of thinking, being, and knowing that it all seems so paradoxical at times. But it all is so self fulfilling all at the same time. Just blows your mind, beloveds. Okay, that's going to be it. Like and subscribe to my channel, Mother with Wisdom. I'm on Facebook. Please feel free to interact with me in the comment section. I want to do more of my shows after I get done with the series. I want more guests and more, but we'll see how that goes. We'll see how Spirit. It's not about what I want, it's about what Spirit wants. So we shall see. And that is going to do it, beloveds. And thank you. Namaste again. Be loved and be blessed.